Hello, friends, and welcome back. This is actually part 2 of a story that, we already read, which would be why it's part 2. I don't know why I said it like that. But anyway, this is the story of SS Beard, part 2. Again, by our friend Shari the Dolphin. Part 2 contains animal cruelty, profanity, and abuse. Oh boy. Oh, I'm already nervous. Here we go. Here continues the story of SS Beard and my time knowing him. Since we had started dating, we decided to meet each other's families. My family was polite, and SS Beard thought they were boring because we were a normal family. After meeting SS Beard's family, I know why he thought we were so boring. SS Beard's brother was a character. You knew they were brothers by the similar personalities they had. They both had frog necks that were so swollen and thick that it almost looked like they had another head sprouting up where their necks should be. Good lord. The only difference between their neck heads is that SS Beard's had a short beard all over his neck lump, which had large patches where hair just could not grow. When SS Beard's brother was sober, he could actually be nice. Sober moments around his brother were rare, but he was genuinely nice when he was. He had his own quirks too, though. His brother would make his own moonshine in the backyard by using one of those big open glass coin jars. Sometimes I'd be around to witness SS Beard's brother and his friends try to remove squirrels and chipmunks that had climbed into the jar, got stuck, and drowned to death. Oh, good lord. How would they remove them? With tongs. And then they'd laugh, and then chuck the dead animal into the neighbor's yard, and then proceed to drink the moonshine. Look, I get that alcohol is a disinfectant, but it ain't that much of a disinfectant, honey. Alright? That's... No. The brother wasn't limited to doing weird acts around me, but towards me as well. SS Beard's brother once decided to flash his underwear at me as one of his forms of flirting. Real classy. The weirdest part about this situation was that this was actually acceptable by his parents and SS Beard himself. What the actual fuck? They were all there to witness it, and they just laughed. I was so shocked that I froze and nervously laughed, trying to figure out in my head what the hell was going on. However, I liked SS Beard's brother a whole lot more than the brother's strange friend, who, upon meeting me, told me to make him a sandwich. Is this man just like a living stereotype? Like, what the actual fuck? Who the fuck says that? I told him to make his own lunch because he's more than capable, being a functional adult and all. Over time, he kept coming over to SS Beard's house to watch anime with SS Beard's brother and Avocado. Since SS Beard was still in high school, he lived with his parents, which meant that I constantly had interactions with not just his brother and the brother's friends, but their parents as well. His dad was distanced, but his mother was around a lot. She was friendly and openly over the moon that SS Beard was dating. She made it obvious that there was one thing wrong with me. I'm not Catholic. Here we go. Oftentimes, she'd joke about how I'd burn if I stepped foot into their church, saying that I'm not pure enough because I was raised Protestant. She didn't mind the fact that I wasn't religious to begin with, but it really bothered her that I wasn't labeled as a Catholic. At first, I didn't mind the jokes, until she sounded more serious with her insults and said that if I ever married her son that I'd have to convert to Catholicism. No, my life, my choices, exactly. But in her mind, at least, someone's religion could be changed. The color of someone's skin can't be controlled, so she was happy when finding out that I'm white. She openly told me within minutes of meeting her that, quote, "Thank God my son didn't find a black or Mexican girl, because I wouldn't let that relationship happen." I always thought that this comment was downright horrible. It is. But also strange because Avocado, a good friend of both of her sons, was loved by this woman. Avocado is Mexican. I guess she didn't mind this since he wasn't dating either one of her sons. Oh, that reminds me. Mother hated anyone who wasn't 100% straight. I'm not sure why she was so aggressively hateful towards anyone who identified as LGBT+, or any ideas that even resembled being open and inclusive to all. I have some theories. I'm a fairly open bisexual woman that doesn't talk about my bisexuality unless it must be brought up, and in high school I was very androgynous with my short hair and outfits. I think this woman thought I was just trying to be edgy or something, but SS Beard's brother didn't have to ask to know I wasn't straight. He thought it was funnier that SS Beard and their mother couldn't figure this out. I, however, did not intend on her ever figuring it out. I saw how she treated LGBT+ people that were out of the closet, and I was very uncomfortable to be around that. And when they'd leave, the things she'd say about them around us were even nastier. I, a super friendly kid that tried to be on everyone's good side, wasn't ready to be treated in a subhuman manner. Nor did it matter if she knew, but I was still dealing with the aftermath of when SS Beard found out. He held the misconception that because I'm bisexual, this must mean that I'm not loyal, or that I'm prone to leave the relationship quicker, and that I must be interested in cheating or an open relationship.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
I'm trying not to scream, if you're wondering, but... Oh, I'm feeling it. It's that white-hot anger. There it is. Maybe this helped contribute to him becoming more possessive? I don't know, but I try not to dwell on it much anymore. Their home was interesting, especially the smell, which was made of 3 different scents. The mother enjoyed lighting candles in every single room, but it had to be a particular scent. Cinnamon, oh god. She had a shelf dedicated to storing extra cinnamon candles, I guess in case every store in our city stopped carrying cinnamon candles. I don't really know, but they were always lit, year-round. Both parents and SS Beard's brother had a habit of smoking. It would have been appreciated if they would smoke outside, but instead, they smoked inside. And the smell would still come in and add with the cinnamon smell. Family also had a couple of small dogs and a cat, which would freely just pee or poop wherever they wished. No one would clean up after the dogs or the cat for months, and everyone would instead just remember where the messes were and try not to step on them. The whole time I was dating SS Beard, the house always smelled like a mix of cinnamon, cigarettes, and feces that was laid out in the sun to meld together or something. It was a unique smell that I'll never forget because it burnt itself into the memory of my brain. It's good to see you know what it's like being inside a hoarder house, too. There's something else we have in common. Speaking of their pets, I started to notice just how little the family cared for their dogs and cat. There's nothing wrong with any of the animals. Cat was super lovable. The dog would just bark, and that was about it. The other dog was really sweet, but skittish. Over time, I pick up on strange behaviors that they would exhibit towards the dog, like how they would yell at the dog aggressively at random moments when she wouldn't be doing anything. And then they decided that they really wanted puppies and forced her to breed when she obviously looked like she didn't want anything to do with visiting the male dog, as she would run away in horror. Eventually, she got tired, and the visiting male dog was able to have his way. That's fucking horrifying. Later that year, she gave birth to puppies. How did they treat the puppies? Well, they'd leave the puppies in their own puddles of feces. The mother, too. They had no intention of keeping these puppies, so the family decided they'd start selling them. They started by trying to sell the puppies to strangers on the side of a turn lane of the busy street at our city's mall. When that didn't work, they stopped trying to make a profit and gave them away to anyone who accepted a puppy through their car window before the red light changed. I never participated in these giveaways, but I did seem to be the only person that came through that house that would give these dogs and their mother any bit of comfort or care. After the puppies were gone, I started noticing disturbing changes happening with SS Beard, leading to one of the first times I felt genuinely unsafe with him. The poor dog, who was still recovering from giving a traumatic birth, was really suffering. What does SS Beard decide to do randomly while we're having a normal conversation in his family's kitchen? He turns around without any prompting or warning and kicks this dog right in the stomach. Oh my god. He laughed loudly while yelling at her, saying that, "You're such a bitch, you're trash for fucking around, you bitch." Yeah, I'm getting really angry, I'm sorry. It's a lot. I was frozen in place. Who could do something like this to a helpless and innocent animal? And go from happy and chatty to whatever this was in an instant. He saw that I was frozen in fear and laughed again at the dog that was too weak to even get up. I ran to check on her and was relieved to see that she was still alive. I could hear her whimpering with what little energy she had left. Fuck. SS Beard was horrified by my reaction. I think he was expecting me to laugh with him. He was shocked to find out that instead I ran to check on the dog once I unfroze. Turned around and angrily asked him what the hell that was all about. I gave it to him for sure. Shortly after, I went home and told my parents what had happened. I wasn't right for a few days. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Eventually, I decided that I needed a break from going to his parents' house, so I had him come over to mine. I don't remember what we did, but I do remember the discovery my dad made after SS Beard had left. We found the restroom floor covered in pee. I was shocked. Could he just not aim? Why didn't he say anything about this? I spent the rest of my weekend scrubbing down the bathroom. Everything had to be scrubbed, since areas of the floor had other mysterious bodily fluids and large poop smears. What the actual fuck is wrong with this man? I confronted SS Beard about it, asking why the hell he did that. At first he denied it. When he saw that I wasn't buying his lies, he asked what the big deal was.
Just went to the restroom, what's your problem? Wasn't that bad, besides you cleaned it all, didn't you?
I could not even. I agree. Just... fuck this guy. A few weeks later, my family decided to get our first dog. We got a beautiful golden retriever puppy. At first, we had no idea what we were doing, but we did our best, considering we're newbies. Yes, the golden has a large part in this story, so I'll change her name in case SS Beard comes across this story. We'll call her Goldie. I know, original. But her real name is also original. She deserves a name change for this story. It didn't take long for everyone in my family to fall for Goldie. Quickly, our life schedule changed to revolve around Goldie's every need and want, which is kind of how it should be. I love my little fur sister to death, and my parents love their little fur daughter. I've never heard those phrases before, but that's kind of adorable. Goldie runs in the house. My mom liked to explain to Stranger that Goldie is a human that is canine challenged with a fur condition. Before mentioning that Goldie was loved the most out of all of her children. At first I was hurt by this until I realized that I loved her just as much as my parents did. Goldie's the center of my family's universe, and I miss her a lot. She's fine, but she lives with my parents and I moved out a long time ago, and I can't exactly visit, with the pandemic and all. Anyways, I apologize for going away from the story. It's just really important that you know just how much this dog means to us since day one, especially since she is a small but important part to the end of the story. Within the first week of Goldie being home, I invited SS Beard to visit so he could meet her. He was not impressed, and he was actually jealous about how much attention the dog was getting from me. Really. Let me say that I was the only one on puppy duty that afternoon, so yeah, she needed the attention. And I talked to SS Beard while casually playing with Goldie, so it's not like this 18-year-old couldn't take care of himself during the few moments I was distracted by cleaning up after a dog. He would make annoying comments like,
"Why can't you give me 100% of your attention? Because I need it, that stupid thing doesn't."
You are jealous of a dog. Do you realize how insane you sound? Honestly, I think I've blocked out many of the things he said dealing with Goldie over the time. I don't like to think about the horrible comments that he'd later make about wanting to harm my innocent, lovable, fluffy golden retriever puppy just because she exists. What a fucking asshole. I love her, and she takes attention away from SS Beard. What made it even worse is that she was always so friendly towards him, and yet he grew to hate her. His feelings about Goldie were the least of my concerns at the time, because at that time, he just chose to ignore her existence. I was noticing that he was really starting to lose it. He was becoming more obsessed with weapons and acting like his physical abuse towards his pets could soon start happening to people. That is a pretty bad sign. He started to keep weapons in the back of his car without me knowing, like nunchucks, a sword, and sharpened metal tips for his bow and arrow. He was starting to keep knives around and talking about guns. Knowing what he was capable of doing, and no one believing me on what I knew he was capable of doing, I started to feel trapped. Remember, I am a short girl, he is a large man. He enjoyed making damage, and I don't want to be his next target. He would already jump to showing violence if I showed even a hint of wanting to be myself or do something independently. Oh yeah, he's an asshole. However, I would still have enough in me to refuse to do anything sexual, even when he'd start making advances on me and kept making comments about wanting me to strip and take a shower with him while naked. I was pretty much threatened any time I made a hint of wanting space or to break up, so from then on I tried my best to only see him in public places for dates. Really good idea. Avocado, somehow still his best friend during all this, was the first and really only person who knew what was going on. Anytime there was even a chance of us being alone, there was Avocado. I was so grateful for his company. He saved me for as long as he could to the best of his abilities, until he couldn't. This is the end of part 2, and yes, the story will eventually get worse. So, first off, before I go into a whole thing, because I want to say, Shari, thank you so much for sharing this story with all of us. I know that venting this kind of thing really helps, and I am more than aware of how awful some of these people can be, and I am so sorry you had to go through something like this. This guy, he's an absolute something, and I'll get into that, but it's not right that you or anyone should ever have to go through that kind of shit. So I am glad that you are far, far away from this person, and that you never have to deal with this kind of shit again. Or at least I certainly hope you don't. Now, as most of you know, I try to control certain things about myself when it comes to how I say certain things. I'm trying not to offend everybody, and I'm trying not to cause too many problems whenever it comes to certain subjects of certain stories. So if you are offended by really offensive language, I would suggest kind of skipping maybe to the end of this video, or just skipping the rest of it entirely. This is the only warning you're going to get. So let's talk about this piece of shit fucking cunt this guy is. I want to fucking beat the dog shit out of this guy. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Fuck him, fuck anybody who looks like him, and fuck anybody who thinks like him. This animal-abusing piece of shit. He deserves nothing, and I mean nothing, except fucking pain for this nonsense. And to think that you can get away by threatening someone to stay in a relationship with you, you fucking wannabe serial killer piece of shit. Absolute fucking disgust. When this story first started, I thought he was a creep, but kind of a funny creep. You know, like some of our usual haha Neckbeard stories where somebody's kind of a weirdo, but mostly a harmless weirdo. Not this asshole. Not this time. Fuck this guy. And if he finds this story somehow, some way, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, hey, that kind of sounds familiar, or that sounds kind of like it could be me, or maybe something like that, and you're able to confirm, because make sure you always confirm that it is in fact you, then this little message is just for you. Go fuck yourself. Hard. With a razor blade. Or 10. This is absolutely unacceptable. How the fuck are you going to do that to an innocent animal? How the fuck are you going to do that to an innocent person? How the fuck do you just exist like this? This level of fucking horrible. What the hell went wrong in your development that turned you into this much of a fucking monster? No, dude. Fuck that. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you are probably just like, wow. I'm usually trying to be, you know, positive and funny, but that one got to me. And I've been pretty upset over the past couple of days. A lot of shit going on around here that I'm not wanting to talk about in this, because I don't want to distract from this very appropriate and very necessary level of vitriol and anger directed towards this fucking asshole. So, yeah. I guess you could say this helped me vent a little too. So thank you for that as well, Shari. Fuck this guy, though. Seriously. Fuck this guy. I could go on for the next couple of fucking hours about how you don't fucking do this shit to animals. You don't do this to people. You don't do this to a lot of people. But I don't even need to fucking say that, do I? Because you guys are well aware of how much of a piece of shit this guy is. Oh, I bet the comments section of this video is going to be interesting as fuck. It's going to be a lot of really pissed off people. Really justifiably pissed off people, too. And if YouTube wants to take this video down, honestly, I couldn't blame you with what I just said. But at the same time, fuck off. Just, no, man. No. We need to end this video. You know my outro. Do the thing with all that stuff and support the channel. I'm not gonna go through the thing. This guy doesn't fucking deserve it. This isn't funny. This is just pure fucking anger. I'm sorry, by the way. I know I should be doing better, but fuck me, man. I am just not okay with this. And again, Shari, super fucking sorry you had to go through this. That is just fucking awful. I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you all, and be safe out there, guys. This shit just ain't right. Goodbye.